Hello friends, in this module we are going to learn about the DSA, and in the DSA the topics we are going to learn are data structure and algorithm, introduction of data structure and algorithm, linked list, stack, queue, trees, graphs, and some of the techniques of searching and sorting. So let us start with the introduction of DSA. As as we all know that the data structure and algorithm consist of the two different things. They are data structure and algorithm. So basically what the data structure means, a data structure means the arrangement of the data in an arrangement of a data in such a way so that we can use the data efficiently, and the memory utilization should be efficient for the arrangement of the data. And the algorithm is a sequence of steps of doing a work on a program or storing a data, using the data efficiently, and the data structures, how to use the data structures, the sequence of the steps of the using data structure is to solve a problem is algorithm. So what are the data types? There are two different types of data types. One of them are primitive data type and another one is non-primitive data type. Primitive data type. Primitive data types are the data types which are defined by the systems or the compiler. Predefined data types are known as the primitive data types, and in other words we can say that a data type in a programming language is a set of a data with values having a predefined characteristics. Or in non-primitive data type we can say that the data type which are defined by the users are known as the non-primitive data types, or we can say the user defined data types are known as the non-primitive data types. And in terms of other terms we can say that a data type is in a programming language is set of data with values having user defined characteristics. So as the combination of the data structure and their operation, it is known as the ADT, which is abstract data type, which was most commonly used word or the term in our data structure. Now let us see the some of the asymptotic notations. So before starting the asymptotic notation, we should know about the what the asymptotic notation is. The asymptotic notation gives us an idea about how good a given algorithm compare is, and we compare the algorithm to to some of other algorithm. Let us and there are preliminary there are three types of widely used asymptotic notations. They are big O notations, big omega notation, and the third one is big theta notation. So let us start with big O notation. Big O notation. Big O notation is used to describe asymptotic upper bound. As we can say that if there is a function f of n which is described as the running time of an algorithm, and we can say also say that f of n is big degree of g of n, and it can be we can say this f of n is degree of g of n if there exists a positive constant c and such, and n naught such that f of n greater than equal to 0 and c of gn is greater than f of n for all the values of n greater than equal to n naught. And as you can see in the graph, as f of x is the running time of algorithm functions. So the function is mm, being lower, having a lower bound than the upper bound function, which is cgx, which is going upper side after some intersection point, that is n naught. In such a way, the other, we can also consider the other one, that is big omega notation. Big omega notation, the big omega notation is used to describe asymptotic lower bound, as in the big O notation we have said that the it describes the upper bound, and the omega notation defines the lower bound. So same as in the big O notations, we can also say that if a function f of n is being described as a running runtime algorithm of a function, and f of n is omega g of n, if there exists a positive constant c, and not such that c c times of g of n is greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to f of n for all values of n greater than equal to 0, and the value n greater than equal to 0 shows the is used to give the lower bound on a function. And as by seeing the graph of the big omega notation, we can also mm, define the big omega notation. What is the big omega notation? As in the as the equation of the big omega notation, cgx is going downward than the running time of the algorithm. So it can be considered as the worst, for the worst case, when the not for the worst case, for the best case, when the time required for the program or the algorithm is too much too low for that particular case, and for an average it goes for an f of n. And similarly, the big theta notation, is also is used to define the average time, as we can say that f of n be the has been defined as a running time of the algorithm. So f of n is said to be theta of g of n if f of x is degree of g of n, and f of x is omega g of n. In mathematical equation, as we have the mathematical equations of the big omega o notation and big omega notation, and by merging both the equations we can get the final equation, which shows us a big theta notations is lying between the both of the big omega notation and big O notation, as big O notation is the upper bound and the big omega notation is the lower bound. So the big theta notation is considered as the average running time. So it can be considered for the as a average cases. So now data structure is being classified in two different types. They are linear data structure and non-linear data structure. So linear data structures are the data structure in which the data is arranged in a sequential or linear manner. So when the data is stored or arranged in a sequential or linear manner, we can say that the data structure is a linear data structure. And the data structure in which the data are stored in a hierarchical way. In that case, we can say that the data are non-linear data structures. As like some of the examples of linear data structures are array, linked list, queue, stack, and many more. And for the non-linear data structures, they can be trees, graphs, and many more. So this is in the introduction of the DSA, and next we are going to learn the linked list in some of the next video.